Hey, Jason Starr here, and the topic of today's video is never take a shot at another writer. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. But first, part of the reason why I'm doing this whole channel is not only to help new writers get their first book published, but I want you to have a long, sustainable career as a writer. And it's a big enough obstacle, as we all know, to break through with agents and editors and publishers and get your first book published, your first couple of books published. But then the challenge becomes, how do you have a long career as a writer? And part of that is by dedication to your craft, getting into good work habits, always being able to adapt to new genres if you have to. But part of it, and I strongly believe in this, and it might be a little controversial, but I believe you should never take a shot at a writer online. You should never be unnecessarily negative toward another writer. Writers, there's enough negativity out there with rejections people get, bad reviews from major publications. There's no reason for writers to attack other writers. Now, as your career evolves, you might be asked by the New York Times, by Publishers Weekly, other publications, to do a fair review of another writer's book. And I'm not necessarily talking about that. I think you should always be fair and honest. But if you have a strongly negative opinion and there's no real reason to express it, then don't express it. You have to ask yourself, like, what is that necessarily accomplishing for you? Are you doing it because you're jealous of another writer's success, or you just feel maybe have anxiety that day, you want to express it, so you go on Amazon and write a bad review? I'm continually amazed at, throughout my career, when I see another writer like take what I see as a clear shot at another writer. Plus, you never know who someone's going to be. I mean, you might be bashing someone's book, and then they're going to be an editor at HarperCollins in a couple of years. So you have to ask yourself, what are you trying to accomplish by doing that? And I don't think it accomplishes anything, to be honest. I've been publishing books, and for over 20 years, I've had 22, 23 books published now. I don't think you could find a single negative comment I've ever made about another writer online. And that includes like going on Goodreads or Amazon. So I highly recommend doing that. There's really no reason to do that. And maybe the old adage, like they always say, like when you're in business, if you're going to send an email, you might want to write that email and let it sit for a day before you actually send it. I would do the same thing with a negative review or negative post you're planning to put online about another writer. Ask yourself, what is my real reason for doing this? What is this really doing for my own career? Like, I'm not even talking like from the point of view of like being nice or not nice, but from your own position of trying to build a long, sustainable career. How is that helping you? So if you have something strongly negative to say about a book, keep it to yourself. You don't really have to say anything. So that's my advice, and please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and come back soon.